Hello dear students, so today we are going to learn the active and passive topic of transformation. Now, before understanding the transformation tricks and techniques, let us understand what we consider in terms of voice and in terms of active and passive voice. So, what is voice? It is a form of a sentence that tells whether the action is done by the subject or the effect of action is received by the subject. So students, it is a sentence which represents that if a sentence is performer of the action or a subject is a receiver of a performed action. This difference is shown in this. Now, two types of voices are there. One is active voice and another is passive voice. So, active voice, when the subject of the sentence performs the verb's action, that sentence is an active voice. When a subject of the sentence is performer of the action, the subject itself is performing the action. Sentence's active voice has a strong, direct and a clear tone. The sentence which represents the active voice, it has a very strong, a very straight, direct and a clear tone. Structure. What will be the structure of active voice? It will be subject, then comes the verb and then the object. So we can write it as SVO. Now this was all about active voice. Now let us understand what is passive voice. When the subject of a sentence receives the performed action, I will emphasize this thing, receives the performed action, and here it is the subject himself is the performer of the action. So here the subject is receiving the action which is already performed. It is always constructed. Now how the sentence is constructed? With appropriate to be form. To be form is always used. To be form and verb past participle form. So past participle form is V3, the third form of verb. Now students, if you have in mind that what is this to be form, if you are not clear with that, I have already mentioned here. To be form is considered in terms of present tense and past tense. If we want to write to be in present form, we will use is, am and are according to the subject, and if we want to write to be form in past form, we will use was and were. Understood students? This is to be form. So we have to use is, am, are or was, were while converting an active sentence into a passive. Passive voice sentence always uses a preposition by before subject. When we are converting active into passive, always we will use the preposition by. Compulsory we have to use this preposition before the subject. When we are bringing the subject of active in the place of object of passive, we will use by preposition. Now comes the structure. So structure is object plus verb plus subject. That means OVS. Just see this. Here we have SVO and here we have OVS. This is the difference, and in this way we have to convert. The subject here will be shifted to the object of passive. The object of active will be shifted to the subject of passive. So this was all about active and passive and its structure. Now let us see one example. Now active voice, here first sentence represents the active voice. He writes a letter. The second sentence is given in passive voice. A letter is written by him. Now here he is the subject, write is verb, a letter is an object. Now what we will do? We will find out this and then we will convert. So first we will bring O down. So a letter is shifted to the subject of passive voice. Now we will convert this verb into V3. Now we will convert this verb into V3 as a verb is always used in the past participle form. Now here the verb given is in present tense. How? S. Write plus S, writes. That means it is a present tense. So for present tense we will use to be form. The to be form for present tense will be is. Why we have used is here? Because we are talking about a letter. So a letter is only one. It is not more than one. So it is a singular subject, and with singular subject we will use is. If at place of the singular subject we would have a plural subject, then we will use here are. So a letter is written. We have converted V into V3. Now comes the preposition. As we have seen here that preposition is used before the subject. So we have used the preposition by over here before the subject. Now he will change to him. This is the change of pronoun which we have to make while conversion. So he will change to him. So passive voice is a letter is written by him. So students, this was all about the basic concept. Thank you.